So I know it's been a minute, you guys, and I'm exhausted right now. So if I look or sound like it, it's because I am. So I'm here to get a lot personal to inform you all of one of my injuries that maybe you all didn't know about. I mentioned that I have a brain injury, a traumatic brain injury. So that brain injury is to the right side of my brain. It's actually 4 different brain injuries, 2 in which I can't mention because I don't know them. I can't pronounce them either. I have had support throughout this process, so after I finish telling you everything, what I just said will make sense about me not knowing and me not being able to pronounce it. The people that have been supporting me were with me every step of the way, and they were taking notes. So that's the only way that I know about the injuries. The ones that I can't pronounce anyway. There were 3 of them that I didn't know about. And I thought having just a right brain injury was pretty much all that the traumatic brain injury consisted of. So I have a paper right here where I wrote down everything that I want to tell y'all, front and back. I don't know if I ever told y'all that I did graduate. If you've been following me, then you know that I was in college. I was in college for 7 years total, but 3 years at the University of Alabama when the accident happened. They weren't 3 complete years, but it was like 2 and almost 2.5, almost 3. So graduation date was set for May 4th, 2019. The car accident happened March 12th, 2019. So when the accident happened, I was instantly knocked unconscious. And I was unconscious for like a month. 28 days to be exact. I was in the hospital for a very long time, up until September 3rd or 4th. And then I got to come home. But then I still had to continue doing therapy. I had to go back and forth to Atlanta. But I did graduate May 4th. They allowed me to go ahead and graduate. And here's my degree. So I do have my master's in social work. Thank God, I worked really hard for that. And I wasn't quite done, but in so many words, I was. Like, we were really just in school just to stick the semester out, honestly. But I did have a couple of more hours that I had to do for field. We had to do 500 field hours. And I think I got to like 380 or just over 400 and something. So I had quite a way to go. And they were just like, you can just go ahead and let her graduate. So I thank God for that. God has really been looking out for me, y'all. I did attend the Shepherd Center, as you can see. Shepherd Center boot camp. I survived. I legit survived. Like, if you go to Shepherd Center, that every morning at 5 a.m. you were getting up. They were giving you a bath. You were going to therapy all day until like 2, 3 o'clock that evening. And you would do stuff you didn't want to do. But of course it was to work on everything that I had going on. This shoulder, my left shoulder, the bone was out of the socket, so I had to work on this arm. In addition to my left leg and the surgery I had on my knee, I had my knee replaced. So part of my brain injury is that since it was the right side of my brain, it wasn't telling me to do anything. I wasn't breathing on my own because it wasn't telling me to breathe. My skin is messed up right now just because, and this is what comes with a brain injury, apparently. The left side of my body was not functioning. So I had to learn how to walk again. I had to learn how to use everything on my left side again. I had to learn to use this. My bone, I feel like it's still slightly out of place, but it's a lot better than it was. Okay. Anyway, let's get into this brain injury. So the brain injury that I have is called a D.A.I. That's the acronym for diffuse axonal injury. It's a form of traumatic brain injury. It happens when the brain rapidly shifts inside the skull as an injury is occurring. The long connecting fibers in the brain rapidly accelerates and decelerates inside the hard bone of the skull. It typically causes injury to many parts of the brain, and the people who suffer DAI are usually left in a coma. So as I mentioned, I did have 4 injuries that I really don't know how to mention, and I couldn't pull it up. Basically, I was in a coma because I was unconscious for a month. So with that being said, my short-term memory is completely messed up. I feel like it's all like long-term and short-term, but I don't remember anything before the car accident. I don't remember anything during or leading up to the car accident, and I don't remember much after the fact. Like, there's stuff that people would come talk to me about and I wouldn't remember. Like, I didn't remember going to school and graduating from college and then starting all over again. Stuff did come back to me over weeks, maybe even months. Like, it's still coming back to me slowly but surely. And I do have a hard time word finding. Like, it's just some words that'll be on the tip of my tongue and I just cannot get the word out. I can't find the right word or the word that I'm looking for. Which, as far as my memory goes, that's why I had to write all of this stuff down, because there's no way I would remember what to tell y'all about this brain injury. Okay, so back to this. One of the most common types, but also one of the most devastating. Symptoms of the DAI is loss of consciousness for 6 or more hours. If it's mild, you remain conscious but display other signs of brain damage. Disorientation or confusion, nausea or vomiting, nervousness or fatigue, trouble sleeping longer than normal, loss of balance or dizziness. So, like I told y'all, I was unconscious for a month. It was severe. It wasn't mild. Like, it was so severe that the doctors didn't even know what to tell my family. They did say that I could be left in a vegetative state. They did say that my attitude might change. I won't say that I was left in a vegetative state. For a little while after I became conscious again, I was, but clearly I'm out of that. My attitude So my family has told me that my attitude has gotten worse. Like, it's horrible. I've always been outspoken, but now I'm very outspoken, and it doesn't take much to agitate me. In fact, I'm on medication for sleeping, which is my next thing. I don't sleep really at all. So it's not that I sleep more than normal, I just don't sleep. Loss of balance or dizziness. I don't get dizzy, but my balance is very messed up. Like, I can't stand on my left leg. I can't balance on my left leg, put it that way. What else? I do suffer from drowsiness. I'm always drowsy. I do have trouble sleeping. So, disorientation, maybe a little. I wouldn't quite say confusion. Headaches, I have those often, and what's weird, kind of, but kind of not, it's on the right side of my brain normally. So, the causes and risk factors. The first one was a car accident in which I was in March 12th. You could be in a violent attack and sustain this injury. You can get this injury during a downfall, in sports accidents, and as a result of child abuse such as shaken baby syndrome. So treatment for a DAI. Reduce swelling, because this can cause further damage, and by reducing that, you could take steroids. I don't think I had swelling, but I did have bleeding on the brain. There's no surgery available for this type of brain injury. Severity determines vegetative state or even death. So I told y'all mine was pretty severe. I thank God that I'm not in a vegetative state. And I thank God that, I didn't die. Another form of treatment, you could do mild to moderate rehabilitation, depending on whether or not it was mild or severe. So a recovery program in which I went through was speech, physical, recreational, occupational therapy, adaptive equipment training, and counseling. So I did all of that except for adaptive equipment training that I'm aware of. Prognosis. Many people do not survive severe head injuries. It was a close call, very close. A great number of people who do survive are left unconscious and never regain consciousness. So the fact that I regained consciousness is a blessing in itself. And those that do wake up are left with long-term problems even after rehab. So the brain injury is permanent. Anybody who has one is permanent. It doesn't go away. Could it get better? Yes. You do the most healing within the first year of the injury. I do have some long-term problems, and I'll always have memory loss. I'll always have trouble word finding. So, I have to take a lot of notes and write a lot of stuff down. One of the other injuries out of the four, because there's two I can't mention, one of the other injuries is a left frontal lobe injury. The frontal lobe in itself, like in general, It is emotional control center. It's considered an emotional control center and home to our personality. I told y'all my attitude got worse. And my people that are around me often always ask me, am I okay? Like, are you okay? Is everything okay? And I be like, yeah, I'm fine. They be like, well, you don't look like it. And so what I say doesn't match like my facial expression. Emotional control center. I'm literally crying about everything, and that's not the old type Rika. I promise you. Like, I literally cry about everything. Stuff that I shouldn't even be crying about. Like, stuff that should make you happy. It's not that I'm not happy. I'm just sentimental as crap. I don't like it. I do not like that at all. Okay, last little bit. So the frontal lobe is involved in motor function, problem solving, spontaneity, memory, language, initiation, judgment, impulse control, and social and sexual behavior. Motor function, I told you all that I had to learn to use this side again. My left side. My motor with my fingers, or like doing anything with my hands, has slowed down a lot. And it's not even just my left side, it's my right side too. I can't walk fast and I can't really run because of that surgery I had on my leg. Problem solving. They tested me when I was in the Shepherd Center. And they said that with the degree that I have, like my level of education, the stuff that they found wrong should have been different because of my level of education. So I have a problem with that, with problem solving. My memory, of course. Language, definitely. My impulse control, I think, is fine. It's the same way it's always been. Social and sexual behavior. So my social behavior depends on who I'm around. I'm introverted. I've always been an introvert. But due to the car accident, there are certain people that is a little bit worse towards. Like, my tolerance is very low. I'm also on medication for agitation. As well as depression, because I became really depressed while I was in therapy, of course, after the car accident. Just because I know I worked so hard to make it to where I was, and I was so close to the end. And then this happened. And now, like, I can't work at the moment. Like, I can eventually, but a doctor has to clear me for that. I can't drive right now. I do still have my car. I can't live by myself right now. Eventually, I will be able to again. Yeah, there's a lot of things like restrictions and stuff. So yeah, I'm just waiting on that. So, where did I go for treatment? I went to the Shepherd Center in Atlanta, Georgia, for inpatient. And I lived in Atlanta for forever. And then I went to Shepherd Pathways, which is outpatient. I left Shepherd Pathways September 3rd or 4th of 2019. So I had someone to drive me back and forth like 2 to 3 times a week for therapy that lasted at least 3 or 4 hours. And then I came home for good. And I've been here ever since September 3rd or 4th. So yeah, I have to give it to the therapist because I know I was a handful. For the therapist, the doctors, and everyone that had a hand or played a part in me getting better. I really appreciate it, and if it wasn't for y'all, I wouldn't be where I am right now. So thank you. I really do appreciate it. I know I made it hard, and I'm so sorry. I'm just so used to being independent and doing things when I wanted to, and being able to do whatever I want to do. It was hard. Very hard being dependent for everything. So, I think that's pretty much it. Like, comment, subscribe. Okay, y'all. I know, y'all look at my hair. I know. Don't talk about it. I'm on a journey right now where I go 6 months without retwisting. So I really only wanted to retwist twice a year, one time. So the first time I attempted this 6 months no retwist, I failed. I think I made it 3 months, and then I retwisted it. And I was off in school at that time, and I had a job, so yeah, it was rough. But now, at this moment, 5 months, almost 6 months in, on the 26th, I'll be 6 months. The 26th of February. So at the end of March, the 26th or 27th, either or, give or take, I get to retwist my hair. But until then, y'all gonna see me walking around looking crazy. But thank y'all for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe. Drop your questions down below if you have any, and I'll do my best to answer them. So I'll be back. Bye.